Okay, so let's unpack this. We've got some fascinating source material today, really focusing on Jarveon Williams, a name many in San Antonio will recognize, and he's just received the 2025 D2 Strong Community Pathfinder for Progress Award. But this deep dive, it's more than just celebrating an award. We're trying to kind of dissect the blueprint here. How do you make that jump?
Exactly. That's our mission today, really.
Yeah.
To understand how someone takes that intense focus, that discipline from elite athletics, and, well, systematically channels it into community leadership.
Right.
Real, sustained, award-winning leadership. We're looking at the actual mechanics,
Yeah.
His specific approach to mentorship, to transformation right there in San Antonio, his home turf.
Yeah, and the hook is pretty compelling, isn't it? Williams isn't just getting nods for what he did on the field, making history there. It's about the foundation he built after that, after the pro career wound down. So the big question for us, and maybe for you listening, is how you translate that very individual drive of an athlete into something that lifts up a whole community.
Collective empowerment, right? That pivot is, it's often the trickiest part, honestly. It takes a completely different playbook than, running routes or finding a gap. We're talking organizational skills, fundraising, building a curriculum, just showing up consistently. This whole story, it's really a case study in long-term community investment.
Okay, but let's start at the beginning, the foundation. Because he really is a local hero story, born and raised in San Antonio. And his college career at UTSA, University of Texas at San Antonio.
That's where he first got labeled a trailblazer, wasn't it?
Yeah, and you have to remember the context there. UTSA football, it's a young program. Started up in, 2011? So when Williams was playing, pretty much every big achievement was a first for the program. Like in 2016, becoming the first Roadrunner to rush for 1,000 yards. That wasn't just, a personal stat line.
No, that must have been a huge moment for the whole university, really. A milestone. Oh, absolutely. The sources we looked at, they really highlight that. Getting that 1,000-yard season, it shifted the program's identity. It signaled, okay, we've arrived. Boosted recruiting, definitely. And it gave them the momentum, the confidence to get to their first ever bowl game that same year. So those first Team All-Conference USA honors he got, they weren't just for him. They were kind of a benchmark for the whole institution.
Right. So you see the path clearly. Local kid, makes good, breaks records in college, and then makes a leap to the pros. Cincinnati Bengals, NFL 2017, then the Montreal Alouettes, CFL 2019. That's a serious athletic career path.
It absolutely is. But what's really striking, looking through the materials, is how the narrative emphasizes that almost the moment he stepped away from that pro grind, that maybe transient lifestyle, his focus just snapped right back to San Antonio, to home. He took all that discipline, that structure from pro sports, and just aimed it at a totally different target, building up his community.
Okay, so this is the pivot point. This is where we shift from talking yards and contracts to talking about community impact, empowerment. Was there a single catalyst? Did something specific make him trade the CFL field for running a nonprofit?
The sources don't really point to one big aha moment. It seems more like a consistent thread in his thinking. Jarveon Williams seems to have always seen his athletic platform as, a tool, a means to an end, not the end itself.
Yeah.
And the creation of 210 development. That's really the tangible outcome of that mindset.
210 development. Let's talk about that. That name alone, it's got that strong local connection, right?
It really does. It's a San Antonio-based 501c,
Yeah.
a proper nonprofit.
Yeah.
And 210, it's a direct, very deliberate shout out to the city's 210 area code. It's like stamping the organization's mission right on the label. We are from here. We belong here. We are working for this community.
That grounding, that deep connection must be invaluable for building trust, getting buy-in from families.
Oh, it's crucial. Absolutely crucial. The mission is straightforward. Help young people get the skills, the mindset to thrive, build confidence, find direction. But what seems to set 210 apart, at least based on what we're seeing, isn't just that they mentor kids through sports. It's how they structure it, the curriculum.
Right. We mentioned those 4 pillars earlier. Maybe we should dig into those for the listener. Why those 4? What are they actually doing within each one?
Good point. Because just saying sports mentoring doesn't capture it. If it was only about athletic skills, fine. It's another sports camp. Useful, but limited. But Williams set up this integrated approach, training across 4 specific non-negotiable areas. Academics, athletics, leadership, and life skills.
Okay, that sounds comprehensive, holistic. But sometimes, these multi-pillar things can feel a bit spread thin. Did the sources give any hints about where 210 puts most of its structural weight? Is there a primary focus?
That's a fair question.
Yeah.
Looking at their documented programs, the activities they run, The emphasis seems heavily geared towards the non-athletic parts, actually, using sports more as the hook, the engagement tool. So, for example, under academics, it's not just tutoring, though they do that. The sources highlight a big focus on practical stuff for high schoolers, college applications, navigating FAFSA forms, scholarship searches, things that are immediate, tangible roadblocks for a lot of kids.
Ah, okay. So it's very practical. Applied academics, not just theory. What about life skills? That often feels like the hardest one to pin down, doesn't it?
It can be, yeah.
Yeah.
And this seems to be where Two-Tank gets really specific. The life skills stuff seems focused on critical adult competencies, things maybe not taught in school, like financial literacy budgeting, basic banking, conflict resolution skills, even soft skills like how to handle a job interview.
So they're leveraging that common language of sports, discipline, teamwork, resilience. But they're immediately translating it, making the connection to practical, everyday skills needed off the field.
That's exactly it. That's the core insight here, I think. They aren't just teaching kids how to, run faster or tackle better. They're teaching them how to manage a budget or resolve a disagreement constructively. The program seems built on the understanding that, for many kids, the path to stability. It runs through economic know-how and leadership just as much, if not more, than athletic prowess.
And does this model work? What kind of impact are we seeing? Do the sources mention any metrics for 2N development?
Well, getting comprehensive, audited numbers for every single pillar of a nonprofit is always tough. But the sources we have do confirm significant success, particularly in college placement. They apparently have a really impressive college acceptance rate and placement rate for the seniors who go through their program, much higher than the regional average for similar demographics. So that suggests the academics and leadership parts are really hitting the mark, steering kids towards higher ed.
And it helps that Williams himself is still very much involved, right? He didn't just set it up and walk away.
No, not at all. He is the model in many ways. He embodies that philosophy. And you see that hands-on commitment reflected in his coaching work after his playing days. He was on the coaching staff back at UTSA, his alma mater, giving back right where he made his name. And maybe even more significantly, he also coached at Judson High School, which is where he started. His own journey began there. It's this full-circle, intentional return to his roots.
That idea of generational investment really comes through, paying it forward, but in a very structured way. And it's that kind of sustained, deep engagement, that holistic view. That must be why this D2 Strong Award happened.
Exactly. The Community Pathfinder for Progress Award. Its criteria specifically look for people who transform potential into progress. And that takes more than writing a check. It takes showing up, sharing expertise, consistent mentorship over time. The award really celebrates that pivot we talk about, turning personal success into something that lifts the whole community.
Yeah, the sources are pretty explicit, aren't they? They say his leadership style mirrors the D2 Strong core values perfectly. Service, mentorship, transformation. It's like the ideal recognition for someone who used their platform, used their athletic fame as like a launching pad for something bigger rather than just the final destination.
He didn't just, start a program. He built a model, a potential template for how other athletes can reinvest their unique experiences back into the communities that raised them. His whole story reads as one of, persistence, definitely humility, and a real sense of purpose.
Yeah.
The powerful reminder, really, that maybe true success isn't just measured in stats or accolades, but in the impact you have by intentionally helping others succeed.
So wrapping